So 1-0, Dr. Stone, Chapter 202, Ryuzu Corp. And I am so freaking happy we got a chapter fully devoted to Francois and Ryu. I mean, don't get me wrong, these two absolutely shine in every single chapter they're in. One of my favorite moments of last chapter was seeing Francois completely fall in love with her freezer, but it has been a very long time since we saw a chapter where either of these two were the primary focus. I mean, for Ryu, it would probably be the dogfight he got into right before they kidnapped Zeno. And for Francois, I guess when she was making all those specialized beverages for everyone right before they got to North America. Oh, that was a long time ago. That was a very, very long time ago. But now they're front and center again, and they are craving some olive oil. I mean, seriously, seriously craving it. The looks on their faces are, yeah, I'm gonna move on past that. Of course, Jen has to remind them that they're here for fluorite, not olive oil, but oh, Jen, you seriously, seriously underestimate Ryu. He can desire multiple things at once. No, he can desire everything in the world at once. That is who he is, because as Francois explains, desire is noble after all. Oh, I love these two together. I freaking love these two together. And I love Chelsea because even though they pull up to a random shore in Barcelona, she's able to make a perfect map of the area from memory, and can even tell Ryu where he's most likely to find olive trees, even though almost 4,000 years have passed. Oh, this girl is scary. This girl is so utterly, utterly scary. And, not to be outdone, Kaseki then builds a centrifuge after Senku gives him about a 20-second explanation of what it is and how it works. Yeah, there's literally nothing Kaseki can't build at this point, but then with olive oil in hand, they make a meal, an absolute feast of a meal that you'd be lucky to find in a 5-star restaurant. And then they start waking people up, and oh my god, these people, after being asleep for 3,000 years and waking up to find the entire world's basically been destroyed, they were probably expecting, basically be slaves, basically be forced into hard labor, to have swords and guns put up their necks. But no, instead they're greeted to a freaking 5-star meal, even in this Stone Age. Oh my god, I love you, Francois. I freaking love you. And this reminds me so much of how Senku first went over, Ishigami Village. He basically made ramen, he made food that was beyond their expectations, and that was it. They were loyal to him, more or less. Well, some of them were. At least they were loyal enough to do some heavy labor and hard work for him in order for him to make more ramen. Close enough. And Francois, just really goes the extra mile as she learned Spanish back in South America so that she could treat the international guests with the utmost level of respect. Though there is just one little problem here. She was in Brazil, and in Brazil they speak Portuguese, not Spanish. So, yeah, that might have been an issue, an error on the author's part, but on the other hand, there are other countries around Brazil that do speak Spanish, so it wouldn't be all that surprising to find someone in Brazil who also spoke Spanish. Also, aren't the languages Portuguese and Spanish rather similar? So I feel like if you learn one, learning the other wouldn't be all that hard. I'm not sure about that. I'm definitely not an expert on languages. I am very sorry if I've offended anyone here, but alright. And not to be outdone, Chelsea explains that she now has a decent handle on Japanese. Which, I guess that's kind of impressive. I mean, don't get me wrong, I'm certainly not one to complain. I've been trying to learn German for the last 28 years, and the best I can do is ask where the bathroom is. But Chelsea has literally memorized the entire world. She can make a map of the entire world from memory, and after months of traveling with Senku and the gang, she only has a decent handle on Japanese? That seems weird. That seems very, very weird to me. But anyway, then they decide to go after some bulls and cows, and for some reason Kohaku decides to use Chrome as bait, which... Why, Kohaku? Why? I mean, he's like the second best scientist you have, in your team right now. And you really want to use him as bait? You really want to risk, him hitting his head and forgetting what math is? That seems like a bad move. That seems like a really, really bad move. But thankfully, Ryu has some outdoor skills, and he's able to outwit the bull. And when I first saw it, I'm like, oh, that's pretty impressive. But, Ryu, he's been all over the whole planet. He's probably taken bullfighting lessons in the past. No! He has never fought a bull in his life. He just kind of figured, hey, this sounds like fun. Let me try it. Let me stand in front of a rampaging bull and hope I got the basic of this down right. Oh, he's insane. He's so utterly, utterly insane. I freaking love him. And now that they have some cows and bulls, they're able to make milk, and they're able to use that to make churros! Yay! And again, I did see some complaints online about the exact churro recipe. Some people were calling it rather inauthentic for the actual, Barcelona churros. Though this is certainly not my area of expertise, so I can't really say one way or the other. The important part is that Suka and Kohaku seem to really be enjoying them, and that made me smile. That made me smile, and that's all that really matters. And now we have currency, hard cash currency, that Ryu is able to use to pay the cooks, the churro chefs, churro bakers. What do you do with churros? Do you bake them? Do you cook them? I'm not actually sure about that. And we get to see the coins. Kosuke's on the 500 Dragos coin, Chrome is on the 1000 Dragos coin, and of course, sweet little adorable Suka is on the 5000 Dragos coin. I mean, we've all known for a very long time that she was worth 5 of Chrome, but it's nice seeing it put out in good hard numbers. And Senku's on the 10,000 Dragos coin. And I am seeing a lot of people online who are rather surprised that Ryu didn't put himself or Francois in the coins. But let's not forget, we haven't seen the 100,000 Dragos coin or the million Dragos coin. Yeah, that seems more likely to be his place. And I'm actually rather curious moving forward if this is going to continue to be what their coins look like. Maybe it's going to change, upgrade a little bit down the road, but I really could see the world, or at least Japan, continue to put Senku on their money for as long as physical money continues to exist, another 100, 200 years. I'm rather curious about that. Also, are they continue using a global currency, or is each country going to start making their own currency down the road? I mean, admittedly, I am far from an expert on economics, but I think at least for the time being, it makes more sense to continue using a single global currency because Ryu is the only person who can bring goods between nations. He's basically the one that sets the price for everything, so it doesn't make much sense for everyone to use a different currency, different value, when he's the only one actually, putting money into the economy. And I'm going to link a video down below about the history of paper money, which I found rather interesting, educational, and amusing. And then we see the Spanish people who they resurrected come up to them and say, thank you so much. I mean, with your scientific advancements, with your scientific jumps, you could have enslaved us so very, very easily, and there's not a single thing we could have done about it, but instead, you allowed us to build our own country, you allowed us to be our own people again, and they fall to their knees in thanks and almost worship of Senko and his gang for being such upstanding, good people. Though, as Jen explained, they're on their quest to revive the whole world, and if they wanted to conquer the world, they wanted to become dictators, that would just take so very, very much longer, it wouldn't even be worth it. Which, fair point, fair point. Also, I absolutely love the way that Boichi draws clouds. It looks so freaking real. Oh, that's so cool. Oh, and meanwhile, Chelsea and Kohaku are trying to learn flamenco dancing, and, yeah, Chelsea, as it turns out, is not all that coordinated, which, yeah, no surprise, no surprise. And then Ryu basically employs all of Barcelona to start digging up fluoride for him, which, oh my god, this man created an entire economy just to get people to work for him, just to dig up the fluoride. Oh, I love it, I freaking love it, and feels actually rather reminiscent. Did this happen when Ryu was first introduced as a character? Didn't Senku create an entire economy just so they could pay Ryu for the oil he negotiated out of their hands? That feels familiar, definitely feels familiar, and I'm just really curious what's going to happen moving forward. I mean, they've basically conquered all of Barcelona. They have a full city up and running here. How long are they actually going to stay here? Because I feel like, they're just going to move on to the next city, either next chapter or the chapter after that. It's going to be them, basically stopping off, making city after city after city as they go along the coast, as they make their way back to Japan. That feels like what might happen here. I'm really curious about that. I mean, the whole, 5-city, Math City, Aluminum City, Rubber City, felt like those would be the 5 big cities they make, but now it seems more like they're going to make a dozen, 2 dozen, 3 dozen small cities on their way back to Japan to basically get everything they need to build the rockets to the moon. And they are digging up fluoride here, so I'm rather curious. I mean, the fluoride's needed for the spaceship and the spacesuits. Are they going to find other uses for it? Other things they're going to build here in Barcelona? They're going to need to, make other cities down the road, make things progress more quickly, more smoothly? I'm not sure about that, but please let me tell us down below. What's going to happen next? What exactly is Ryu's plan in Barcelona? How long are they going to stay here? And where are they going next? I mean, they're in the Mediterranean Sea right now, so are they going to stay in the Mediterranean Sea? Or are they going to go back out the Straits of Gibraltar and down across Africa, up and over through Russia to Australia, New Zealand, and then basically back to Japan? I'm really not sure about that. Let me throw us down below. Be sure to like, subscribe to the next video. And until then, peace!